So here I am today again, and today I want to talk about how we shut down or shut out our feminine self, the part of us that has the feminine energy, how we shut it out, and sometimes, somehow, throughout our lifetimes, we never encounter our feminine energy. Why? Because that is a part of us that we have shut out because we feel it is sinful and dirty. This is Mononyedi, if you don't already know. This is Mononyedi, and this is Bridging with Mononyedi. Bridging with Mononyedi is where I talk about the things that are long forgotten, then other times I talk about the things that matter. So, I think I'll just get right into it. Yes, I'll get right into it. So, today, like I said, I want to talk about how we successfully shut out a part of us that is very vital to our existence, because this part of us is the part of us that balances the other part of us, right? So we have ourselves being tilting to one side without the feminine energy to counter the other side to bring balance. Why is this like this? So I'll start by saying that trauma manifesting from childhood projections can cause this. Like when we are children and we're just being children, just having fun, and then an adult shoots you and say, "Hey, don't do that. Why are you doing that? Come out from there." Somehow in your subconscious, it ticks off as doing this is wrong, doing this is bad. Now, nobody gives you enough reason why you shouldn't do that or why you should do that, right? And I'm going to say that as adults over sexualize and over project on kids. So you see a child being a child and you over sexualize that act, it becomes a problem. Why? Because you see us in this part, we don't really talk about sex. Sex is something that we hush, hush, hush. And it's funny because our language has so many sexual undertones. In the English term, our languages are termed as vulgar. But again, you need to understand who we are, how we are, what we do, how we do what we do, to know that we are not being vulgar. We are not. In fact, when we say certain things, right, they don't even have sexual context. It's just the way that our language is. And because most of us don't know how to, the philosophy and context behind the reasoning of our people, we translate directly to English. Therefore, oh, it's sex, so they're talking about. Really? When we talk about sex, you won't know about it. So because there are no clear lines drawn, and also because we do not understand our languages, this is a problem that continues to occur. Because again, we're judging certain things from perspectives of other people. So we are looking at our lives and our world in a tinted lens from another person's perspective, which is not even our own perspective. So imagine us who dance and shake bum bum. Then you see a child dancing and shaking bum bum, and then you project that now the child they maybe go, that the child is spoiled, or that the child is spoiling. But you go out as an adult and you shake bum bum when you dance. You move your waist when you dance. This is a child who doesn't even know what. So let's say a child who doesn't know what being a. I don't know, a child really doesn't know the difference between the two, right? But when you project and over sexualize, that child begins to feel that there's something wrong at all with dancing. And somehow, if that child is gifted to, let's talk about, okay, there are children that when you meet them, right, when they say something to you, you'll be wondering, did your mother tell you to come and tell me that thing? But no, this is the child. So when the mother begins to say, shut up, 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 shut up every day, this child begins to withdraw or jubo you, because the child doesn't know what to do again. That is going to warrant screams, shouts, and don't do that. Da, da, da. And we don't explain to children. Now, I'm not saying don't raise your kids to discern. I'm saying that don't project on them. Don't project from your experiences. The least that you can do is advise, be by them, give them your full support, but don't project on them. You see, there's the over sexualizing of our bodies as women from childhood. There's also the making you feel like your body doesn't belong to you, right? Now, there are two things. First of all, your body is dirty, and being in tune with your sexual and sensual self in itself is an act of evil, because people make it feel like when you are in tune with your feminine self, when you are in tune with your gorgeous, sensuous goddess self, that there's a punishment for that. So they make it look like you get what is coming for you. You are looking for trouble and you will get it. So if, as you're growing, right, this part of you is always being picked on, it's always being chipped away, there's always something to say about this part of you, your mind is going to try to reroute and rewire. So your mind is going to do the logical thing, shut that aspect of you out of your life so that you can have peace. Now, how does this manifest in your everyday life and other things that you do? For example, let's say when you go shopping for nightwear, do you ask yourself why you gravitate towards night shirts, night shirts, and not going towards the other side to see beautiful lingeries and all of that? Like, there are people who have, now everybody has special occasion lingeries, yeah, but then there are people who never wear their lingeries for themselves. Most people never do. Why? It's the way that we have been socialized. We have been socialized in a way that we don't do anything for ourselves. Right? We've been socialized in a way that we don't do things that reward us as women, as people. So it starts early again, like I said. Why are you dragging your feet on the floor? No man will marry you. You are chewing with your mouth closed, with your mouth open. No man will marry you. You are slouching. No man will want to look at you. Nobody says you are slouching, you will get back pain. You are slouching, you will have bad posture. Nobody says you're dragging your feet on the floor, it's giving me a headache, it's making me not concentrate. Please don't drag your feet on the floor. It doesn't tell good about you. How can you not hear this noise at you? No, nobody gives you all of those reasons. Nobody tells you any of those things. They just give you a simple explanation. If you don't know how to cook, no man will marry you. If you don't know how to do this one, bottom line, no man wants to be with you. How about Okay, so everyone's saying, oh, no man will manage you, no man will do this one, no man will do that one, no man. Nobody's saying you don't know how to cook, you will starve to death. Which is why we need to eat so that we don't die off. Nobody's telling you that. Learn how to cook so because it is a vital survival skill. Nobody teaches you that. If you don't know how to cook, no man will do this one for you. Now, we are consciously and unconsciously taught to pander to every other person around us but ourselves. Do this thing for your mother, do that one for your father, do this one for your brothers, do this one for that one, do that one for your husband, do this one for your mother-in-law, do this one. But you do everything for everybody but none for yourself. Right? Do you see where I'm going with this? If you actually understand where I'm going with this, like I need to get like some feedback, mail me, write me, I need to know that I'm not just talking my own, but because I know that there are a lot of experiences. Like I talk to people every day, and the one that kills me the most is when I talk to people who have had like a brush with abuse, any form of abuse, financial, sexual, physical, anything, emotional abuse. And there's something that is consistent in all of these things. There's nowhere for you to fall back to. There is no safe space. And because this is consistent, like it makes my head pop because I remember, I think it was sometime early this year, I was having a conversation with my mother and my aunt. And I said to them, I said, when things happen, we tell women that we say "Neko weyanya," which translates to take care of yourself. So when we say "Neko weyanya," which is take care of yourself, half the time we don't provide safe spaces for these women to be able to know weyanya. So almost immediately we are sending this person without properly healing back to the war zone from where the trauma or injury has been caused. So let's take, for example, a woman who lives with her abusive husband, right? So he beats her up to a pulp and then takes her to the hospital. So everybody comes to the hospital and everybody's telling her, giving her one word of encouragement or advice on how she should deal. Ndidi. Dibun didi. Dibe. Husband say, in fact, I really don't want to translate that, but it's all forms of you should bear it. That's how men are. Yeah, he's a man. All of that, those terms, but in trad lingo. So dibeo, dibun didio. So somehow I wonder, is it that misery loves company? Because if most of you, like you say, have gone through one or two of this, so why does it keep going on? So it's a vicious cycle that has refused to stop and it's not going to stop anytime soon, which is a problem, right? So when everybody advises her, oh, sorry, manage, then they say, take care of yourself, dibe. Nobody says, oh, once you leave the hospital, come and stay with me for a bit. Come and stay with me for a month or anything. They are still the ones who told her to Neko Weyanya, that are still going to send her back so that she can take care of her children. Now, nobody is worried about her mental health. Nobody is worried about how it affects her personally. Nobody will ask her how she's doing. Right? So almost immediately, they put her back in that place, in that situation where she is again. So when you continue to relieve trauma, you just begin to make excuses for it, and then you stop complaining about it. Then you begin to take it because, well, maybe it's even your fault that all these things are happening for you. Maybe if you do better, maybe if you do something, maybe then you continue to make excuses, and maybe one day you die. So if we are taught to pander to every other person but ourselves, if there are really no safe spaces for us to talk about the things that concern us or the things that gets us reeled up, these things are going to continue. So there's the no man will marry you. Then there's also the you don't have like a support system, because the people who surround you don't even see what is wrong with what is happening to you. So again, back to square one. So if we talk about socialization, how we are socialized to keep this part of us suppressed. So if you've been abused, if you had trauma from abuse, trauma from, sometimes people stay with their abusers because they have nowhere to go. People stay with their abusers because there is no foundation, there is nobody to help. Like every other person is going to say, go back to. But I deviate. So let me go right back to where I was getting to. So when everybody says, nobody will marry you, nobody will do this one, nobody will do that one, we are consciously or unconsciously being taught how to do things, but not for us, but for people. Let's take, for example, simple things. Like I was giving that example of why you gravitate to night shirts and night shirts and all of those things. Because one of the reasons is because you don't love your body. You don't love yourself enough to see that you're beautiful, to see that you're different, to see that you're amazing. I don't even know how many women stand in front of the mirror and admire themselves. I don't think that a lot of people do that. Like, just stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself and say, oh my God, I am amazing. Look at this gorgeousness. Look at this gloriousness that is me. I don't know how many women do that. I don't know how many women even remember, except if it's not when to just make up and go out, to like take a look at themselves. Take a look at this gorgeousness. Take a look at this glorious body that God has given to you. Take a look at your folds. Take a look at your lines. Take a look at everything that is beautiful about you. Whether you feel your body is banging or not, it doesn't matter. So there's a problem with that, and it starts early. When all of this, the part of us that makes us want to admire, that makes us know, feel sexy and gorgeous and sensual and all of those things, we are never in tune with that part. We don't know how to communicate with that part. We don't know what that part of us feels like, even if it slaps us in the face. You gravitate towards buying night shirts because it's comfortable, because you feel that you're not worried enough to wear lace, because after all, there's nobody to look at you. You're not thinking, I want to wear lace robe to bed, I want to wear lace lingerie to bed, I want to get like an actual set of underwear for myself. Why? Because I like the way that the bra fits like skin. I like the way that my breasts are molded in it. I like the way that the panty lines up on my hip line. I like the way you don't give yourself gifts of self-love. You don't. Why? Because you feel that you're not worthy enough to do those things for yourself because you want them. You don't think that you are reason enough. You feel that if you have to do something for yourself, there should be a justification to why you should buy sexy things for yourself. E.g., let me buy it. Try. Mecca will like it if I wear this thing. That should be an added advantage, not your primary goal. It should be an added advantage. I'll tell you why. First of all, you buy it because you want it, because you love the way that you look in it. Because when you wear it, you feel a certain way, right? Now, when you wear it and you feel a certain way, the added advantage is somebody else sees you and takes notice and say, "Oh, nice." It's like carrying a really nice handbag. You bought it because you liked it, right? And then when another person say, "Oh, your bag is really nice," that's another advantage. "Oh, thank you," right? But because we have been taught to pander to other people's gazes, we don't do anything for ourselves. We don't remember to do anything for ourselves. I'm going to tell you that as you're watching me, if I give you paper and biro and tell you to make a list, right? If I say make a list of the things that you like, oh, you write other things, you will not remember to write that you like yourself. So if I say write a list of people that you like, you are going to write list of 10 pages, your name will not come on top. If I say, "Oh, I'm going to take you on a waiting trip," probably an all expense paid trip or something, and I'll give you a card that you can shop till you die, you're going to remember, let me buy this one for my mother, let me buy this one for my uncle, let me buy this one for this one, let me buy that one for that one. Before you now remember to now start buying things for yourself, the money for the card feed on finish. Then at the end of the day, you might get little or nothing for yourself. Why? Because we are not taught to put ourselves first. We are not taught to learn how to express ourselves in the ways that matter. So when it comes to our emotions, when it comes to the part of us that sort of, verbalizes how we feel and all of those things, the part of us that is truly expressive is like non-existent. People sometimes say women don't know how to express themselves. Who are we expressing ourselves to? If we express, will you listen? Or are you going to try to re-explain the thing that I just explained to you? Or tell me why what I explained is not how it is? So when you get that all the time, what's the point of explaining yourself? You've kuko been taught that you don't matter, so what's the point? Really, there's no point. You just take it all and exist through it. Then if you never find or know that that is a problem, you give birth to kids and you treat them the same way. So you're 65 and you haven't healed your mother wound. Your child will be 35 and she needs to heal her own mother wound. So it's a vicious cycle that continues. So moving to treating our bodies. So yeah, from when your breasts are getting big to men will start talking to you. So this your nyash is getting too big. Which man is touching you? All of those things, right? So nobody says anything about your own pleasure. Nobody says anything about yourself. Nobody teaches you how to love yourself. I know that most of us don't have baths in our houses, yes, but you don't even remember to put essential oil in your bucket when you want to go and bath so that poise and smell nice. You don't even remember to do like small things that just makes this life easy without justifying why you have to do those things for yourself. You don't just do it because I want to do this. You're doing because okay, I want to do this, but I don't want anybody to say. So you're pandering to a lot of gazes, none of which benefits you directly. So there are two ways that this thing happens. Now, you're going to get what is coming for you when you explore your feminine self. There's that, because your body is totally sinful and dirty. This same body that is sinful and dirty is the same body that they will not tell you to keep for man. Doesn't that mean that when you come in contact with a man, that your body becomes clean automatically because you have a man attached to you? Does your body become clean automatically? Now, all these indoctrination, socializations are already ingrained in your head. So how do you think that by doing snapping your fingers, those thoughts and things that are in your head are just going to magically disappear? These are things that they have been putting inside you, sealing it up, put seal. So you expect that at the end, you're just going to produce a man, and then all of those things that you put is going to unravel. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's like telling somebody, don't eat me, 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 don't eat me. Then all of a sudden, both of you go hunting. Then you come back from the hunting exercise, and then you expect that person is going to eat meat. I say, oh, but eat meat now. Maybe we hunted it together. Yes, but I've never eaten meat in my life. So how does going hunting with you clear up the fact that I can now eat meat? Are you understanding what I'm saying? I hope that you are. So, when I say try to be in tune, or because for you to be in tune with this part of you, you have to heal the things that keep it locked down. You have to heal every hurtful and hateful word that was said to you about you, your body, you being sexual, you being sexual. So on one hand, somebody can say your body doesn't belong to you, but also your body is a tool that should be given to another person. So every other person knows what you should do except you that owns the body. Make it make sense. So there's also the implied implication, that, you're dirty and you're going to get what is coming for you. There's also the implied implication that when you're gorgeous, when you're sexual, when you're sensual, when you're in tune with all those parts of you, you're going to get what is coming for you, like I said before. This is harmful because then when young girls or even adults are abused, nobody says anything because they feel that they are going to get what is coming for them, or they have finally gotten that thing that they said is coming for them. So they feel somehow that